I don't think you realize how important it is to find who you truly are. Your identity is going to carry you so far. By finding your identity, it is literally going to do all the work for you. Welcome back. It's Imran X Mindset here, aka known as Glacier, breaking down the icebergs of life. Today I want to talk about something that is gonna help a lot of people in the next steps to becoming the best version of yourself. Now, I know on this channel we've been talking a lot about becoming the best version of yourself, being who truly you are, being who you are, but I guess we've never really explored what it means to be who you are. A lot of people struggle with finding their inner voice. A lot of people struggle with finding who they are behind all of these personas that they've picked up. People know who they truly are inside, but because of what society's saying, their parents are saying, and then even their friends are saying, they are trying to combine and put together an idea of how they're supposed to be or how they're supposed to act. You need to find your identity. I don't think you realize how important it is to find who you truly are. Your identity is going to carry you so far. By finding your identity, it is literally going to do all the work for you. You know how I say, don't think about the goal, don't think about the reward. Just do the work like if you were trying to be that person. It's actually a science too. I actually got this from the Atomic Habits book and along with Alex Ramos's input. When you conjure up an identity, or let's not say conjure, but when you have an identity for yourself in your head, the actions that come after that match up and align with how you view yourself. The small little things, like if you view yourself as somebody who's trying to quit smoking, you're going to be more likely to smoke. But if you look at yourself as somebody who never smokes, you're actually more likely to decline an invitation. And it's funny that trick, that mental trick, I think a lot of people do it without realizing it. When you want to look at yourself as an athlete, do you find yourself hanging around more athletes? Do you find yourself wanting to work out more often? Or if you refer to yourself as a musician, do you find yourself writing songs more often? Do you find that your habits are more aligned with things correlating to music? Literally, my grades were the best that they ever were because I literally told myself, I changed my mindset from I just don't like school to I'm a scholar. I came to this school on a scholarship. Literally, I have not recorded a video. I've not recorded a video, sad to say, since I've come back from Nigeria, which has been almost 2 weeks. But as soon as I put this shirt on and I was looking in the mirror, it really came back to me like, oh, I'm Glacier, I'm Imran X Mindset. In that same sense, I feel like a lot of people don't know where that identity is at, so they're just lost. When people don't know who they are, they start picking up pieces of their friends. Now, even the saying you are who you hang around, that statement is very true. Naturally, we're creatures that pick up and observe behavior. If we're constantly around people that do this and this, naturally, it's only going to become a habit that we start doing it as well, especially if it's a person that we have high approval of. So wanting to get that validation, we want to do things that are similar to that person, because obviously people want to be around people that are like-minded. When you figure out who you are, when you find that identity, life becomes much easier. You find a clarity in your head. You don't have to pretend to be somebody else just to fit in with a certain group of people. You are just you. So you naturally feel at ease in your environments. And you can even feel comfortable. And that's not to say that this is a bad comfortable. This is more of a, you can now embrace yourself. When you finally get your identity, when you figure out your identity, the gains are monumental. I have a calendar book, a 13-month calendar. It was starting off in December. Embrace the magic of new beginnings. Now, in this book, I basically, each day, I live my life like the identity that I want, that being myself. Each day, I have a goal that's going to help me be myself. I think everybody should invest in having a calendar book because it's just something about writing things out. There's more of a connection there than just typing it. To figure out your identity, I know there's probably somebody, wondering that. It's simple. You can change it and you can manipulate it. That's number one, because you can be anything you want to be. But as you do this, you have to be consistent with it. The Atomic Habits book was saying that it's almost like casting votes. If you have 3 identities, let's say 3 personas, one side of you enjoys making music, another side of you enjoys reading, and another side of you enjoys being. But let's give it a negative trait. One side of you is a smoker. Those are the 3 personas that you have, right? If you spend a majority of your time making music, it's almost like you're voting. So you're voting for making music to be your dominant personality. You're voting for music to be your key identity. Because you got to realize, as you are in this music making mental states, you're going to want to be around like-minded people. So slowly, as you start, building up to that character, you start casting votes for that character, you start constantly and consistently being that character. Your outside life is going to change, your environment is going to change, where you're now surrounded by people that are similar to you. You're surrounded by people who also enjoy making music. Now let's say that you casted votes into being a smoker. Now, you can cast off a few votes. Like, let's say sometimes you just smoke a little bit here and there. Well, you're not gonna end up, having a complete friend group of smokers, but you are going to pick up contacts and you are going to meet people that obviously do those activities. Now, obviously, if you only just meet 1 friend or 2 friends, that's not bad, because eventually maybe you guys might fall out, or maybe they don't even want to, be on that type of timing. So, it works out in your favor. But if you end up having a whole friend group and you end up building a mini community in which you guys enjoy that activity, that's when it becomes detrimental to yourself. To pick an identity, to find an identity for yourself, do an activity. Do an activity that you can do consecutively and consistently. And as you're doing this, make sure you're putting an effort too. Don't just half-ass anything. If you tell yourself you want to be a scholar, if that's the perception that you have in yourself, in your head, you're going to be subconsciously doing things to make sure that you bring the way that you view yourself out into reality. You might make small subconscious decisions that you don't even realize because of it. You can actually search this up. If you watch a basketball movie and it's inspiring, you are taking that character into account. So you are taking a piece of that identity. That's why you feel more likely to go and want to play basketball after you just seen a movie like that. You are inspired. When you're inspired, you want to be like that person. You want to change. You want to do something better. And usually whatever you see is really what you want to emulate. That's why when people are inspired by rappers, they want to be rappers. People are inspired by athletes, they want to be athletes. So to wrap it up, the identity that you want to have, the identity that you want to pick for yourself, it can be anything. Your identity creates a habit. Your identity creates, a ritual lifestyle for yourself. Because really think about it, if you're known for playing basketball, you're going to be waking up early to get workouts, and you're going to be stretching, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. But if you have an identity as somebody who just enjoys reading, you're not going to be as likely to wake up early. You're going to be more likely to stay in You're going to be more likely to want to enjoy quiet places. It's all the small things that matter that they just all build up and they add. So ask yourself, who do you want to be? If you're young, or it doesn't matter, experiment with different lives. You can do that. Live a week as an athlete. Live a week as a musician. Live a week as a YouTuber. See which life really, resonates with you. What life can you picture yourself living over and over and over every day? Obviously, you can do other things, but what do you want to cast all your votes into for the current moment? At the end of the day, I ain't no preacher. I'm just a guy talking.